Hello and welcome to this video. My name is Arto and I'm going to share today something that has really changed my life. And I'm willing to share my experiences with everyone, whoever is willing to listen and to learn something from this. Because what I have discovered has been life-changing for me, and I just want to share forward so that others may be benefited. This video is for educational and life-changing purposes only. Everything you will learn during the presentation is provable by personal experience, meaning that you can put this to the test yourself. This means that you don't have to believe me. You can test out what I'm going to talk about here today. This is something that you can prove for yourself. And here's a personal disclaimer. I'm just a person, a soul, as you are. I'm not claiming to be perfect or that I know everything there is to know, but what I do know and what I have researched and experienced the past, let's say 15 years, I am quite confident that this has been very, very good. At least I can see this from my own life, and I'm right now wanting to share this with everybody else who are hoping in some way to improve their lives, and that's why I'm here for. So I'm basically doing it out of love. This is my main motive of doing this. So you don't need to worry about me taking your money or something like that. So yeah, this is all for free. So let's get to the topic, which is called soul transformation via the power of divine love. So you may wonder, what is divine love and what is this soul transformation thing? Sounds new or not very understandable, or why is this important? So before we get to that, but first I would like to talk about my background a bit, because this goes together why I am even talking about this whole topic of divine love today. So about me, I was born in 1983 and I actually lived quite a normal life. Meaning that I grew up in a village, a small place in a country called Estonia, which is in Europe. And of course I did pretty much most things that young people do. And I was actually also that type of a person, even since I was a child, that I was seeking for answers to my so-called big questions in life. And these questions were about like, who am I? Why am I here? How did I get here? Of course, in the physical sense, I know where I got there, but meaning that why I exist. Is there a greater purpose in life in general? I was basically looking for truth about myself, about the world, about my destiny and everything related. So, and what else was there? I was searching for something mysterious, which I kind of knew existed. I didn't know how to call it or what it is or where to find it. This was something in me that I was searching for my place or for my purpose in life or something like that. I wasn't exactly sure. But yeah, these seekings were bringing me different experiences, and I looked into various types of religions and spiritual practices and whatnot, especially when I got into a teenage years. But in 2005, actually, I got together with a girl and we started dating. And then, thanks to her and her mother, I went to the church, meaning that I went to the church services to just check out what's going on there. Because I hadn't gone to the church. I had some preconceived ideas what's going on in church, and I was thinking that this is not my place to be because it sounds kind of boring. I had some preconceived ideas, which of course necessarily were not true. I just had some kind of image in my mind about what church is and what people do there. I didn't actually have much clue. So, and the other thing I was thinking about church, I was thinking that only people who are weak and cannot manage their lives or something, or they're missing something, or they need a crutch in their lives or whatnot, are going there. Like, it wasn't the place for me. This is what I was thinking of at that time. But later on, I actually found what I was looking for right from the church, meaning that There was another church service, and it was promoted that some person is coming from another country who had a gift of prophecy, meaning that this person could hear from God and tell to other people what God is saying. So this sounded interesting. So I wanted to know what's going to happen. And maybe God has something to speak to me. I was interested. So I went there, and the service went. There was music, there was singing, there was laughter, there was fun, there was interesting topics discussed and so forth. And at one point, this person from the other country called people to the front. He was actually giving out an invitation to the people to come and accept Jesus into their lives and accept God. So I didn't know what this actually means. I had no idea. But even though he was talking to the whole crowd, I kind of sensed, I had this inner knowledge that I need to go there. So I went, and he led us into a prayer. And so me and other people there, we were saying things after him. So I kind of said things like, God, I'm sorry for the bad things I have done and caused in my life to myself and to others and to you, and I'm sorry, and I ask you for your forgiveness. And I also said that Christ or Jesus, please come into my heart. I don't remember much more what I was saying there, but these were pretty much the things that I was saying, and I was also doing this whole thing as like an experiment, because I wanted to know what happens next. So first few, let's say 10 seconds, nothing happened. And as I was sincere in my praying to God, I wanted to see what happens. And after 10 or 20 seconds, something like really interesting happened. I kind of burst into tears. This is something that you cannot describe very well in words. I felt that something is happening in me, in my center area, in my heart and chest area. Something like cleansing going on. And I wasn't sad, but I was like crying out something, some pain and sorrow and something of the past. But why this happened, I will explain later. Now I know, of course. But when this crying ended after a minute, then the sorrow actually got replaced with a joy, meaning that I started laughing. It wasn't that the pastor was telling some joke or doing something funny, but because somehow some processes in me, in my soul, were happening, and these created like a real joy in me. And I was like laughing, and like 2 minutes of laughing there on the ground, basically. And when I got up from this place and stood up, I was like feeling so deep peace, purity, joy, love, like unconditional love, and energized. And I felt so clean, like I had come from a sauna. Like if you know what the sauna is, then, well, you may understand me better. But it was like a sauna for your soul. And it was like amazing feeling. Like I had never experienced anything close to this. And I was like, holy smokes, what is this? Oh my. It's very, very hard to put it into words, but I was feeling amazing. Like experienced something so new and so wonderful that I had never experienced such things. So yeah, so I walked back to my place. I was thinking that, okay, now if I die, do I go to heaven? Am I saved now? In a term that my soul is saved. That if I die, that I don't have to fear or worry about hell. So yeah, this was my mindset at the time. So a few years went by. I was listening to sermons. I went to church meetings. I was praying. I was trying to grow spiritually. I was also reading Christian literature, which was actually pretty good. So trying to get more answers and grow spiritually, as I said. But also what happened was I didn't see much growth. And this brought me dissatisfaction with my condition and with my progress, and also some fear, because back in 2007, 2008, I found out some information about near-death experiences and people who had visited heaven and hell and so forth. So I looked into that topic a lot, and I discovered that many pastors are ending up in hell. And I was like, wait a moment, if even pastors are going to hell, then I'm not even a pastor. So how safe and secure am I with my condition? So I needed to, or at least I wanted to make sure that I would not end up in hell. So I thought that, okay, so how can I find out what to do to make sure that I don't end up in hell? So, because these videos didn't teach much, like what you can do if you, let's say, you end up in hell, or you are in a risk of ending up in hell. So in 2008, I was started to question these things, and for my own security's sake. And then I actually discovered what is called the Paget messages, and these were about the divine love. So actually, these messages, how I got to them was that I Googled messages from Jesus, because I wanted to know maybe there is some useful information that Jesus could know about that could be beneficial for my seekings, for my security, I mean my spiritual security, and my happiness in general. So, of course, I found many websites and many different messages, and so not everything actually seemed legit, let's put it like that. But what I found was this website, newbirth.net, and there were many messages from the spiritual world, including messages from Jesus. And these are termed also the Paget messages, because these were written through James Paget. And from these messages, I learned the true way into spiritual security, how to take care of my soul in the right way, and how to end up in heavens instead of hells after finishing this earthly life. So it's kind of like preparing myself for a spiritual life. And that's basically what I'm going to talk about today. That's the whole topic. And yes, about the progress of mine. After discovering the Paget messages, or the Jesus' messages on divine love and the soul transformation through divine love, I actually started making real progress. And I also started to keep a progress diary with my experiences from day to day. Well, in general. Not every day, but mostly. And right now it's 2021 when I'm recording this video, and right now I'm taking action. I also found out the Divine Love community and I joined them. So that's pretty much the nutshell of my story and my background about my spiritual seekings. But before we continue, let's go through some words that I'm going to use here. So we know of physical body, but what about spirit body, and what about soul? When I talk about those things, actually physical body is just like the flesh and bones, blood. You know what is physical body, we all know. What is spirit body? Spirit body is something that we all have, but this is like encapsulated into the physical body. So the spirit body is basically just like a physical body in a sense, but it is made of a different substance. Spirit material, let's call it so. But this is actually also what you already have. As the physical body is part of you, not the real you. So the spirit body is not the real you, but is a part of you. But the soul is actually the real you. Meaning that the spiritual living being who has consciousness, who has a mind, I mean the soul's mind. And of course, in addition to that, we also have the material mind, meaning that the brain and the earthly mind. And the soul also has the opportunity and the power of feeling emotions and energies, and soul has perceptions, meaning that the soul senses. with the soul, which you really actually are, and we are all souls, we can actually perceive reality. And the soul is actually encapsulated in the spiritual body, which in turn is encapsulated in the physical body. So after we die, everything that happens is that we just lose the physical body, or the connection to the physical body, and never going back to that again. So we will live on in the spirit body as souls encapsulated into this spirit body. So in spirit body we can live in spirit world, so that makes sense. And this makes us into spirits, so to speak. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that everybody who has, so to speak, died are actually alive in the spirit world. So no one dies. Everyone survives actually the physical body's death, which is just a separation of your spirit body and soul from the physical body. But now let's get to the topic of the soul, because the soul is the real you, and the soul's condition actually is the most important factor of your life. So it's very important to take care of yourself, meaning that you don't only take care of your body and your mind, meaning your mindset, your thinking, your attitudes, but also the most important part of you, the soul, the real you. We need to take care of that, because so many people have neglected, and even I in the past, to take care of the soul. I'm just bringing out some kind of like a visible representation of a soul. And let's say this is a soul of a child, meaning all the souls actually exist, pre-exist before getting into the physical plane or into the physical bodies to be born as a human being and getting a spiritual body. We exist in the form of souls. And as I believe, as I have learned, we have been created by the original soul, or the creator soul, who has always been existing, and our souls have been created similarly to his great soul. So yes, there is a creator whom people call God, and who has created all the human souls. So we have all been created pure and beautiful in the beginning, and only when we get to this earthly environment, we start to take on some negativity and darkness and some kind of like bad attitudes, which are not of love. So everything bad, I would say, is something that is against love. So we are basically composed of love. So if we're talking about soul and that we exist, everything that exists is made of something, right? So let's say your laptop, it's made of something. Your body, it's made of something. Even the radio waves are being transmitted through something. It's called ether. So ether, the air, and all the substances in the air that we breathe in, these are actually existing substances. So everything that exists are made of something. So if God exists, he is also made of something. And if we exist and the souls exist, these are also made of something. We are made of mostly of love, in the spiritual sense, in the soul sense. We're made of natural love. And this is something that is created. It's a created love. But there is, of course, a different thing, which is divine love, which is the love that God is made of. So the point is that if we get born here into this earth, we get many influences from people, even inside the mother's womb. Maybe there is some arguments, some violence going on, and the mother is suffering, and also the child is getting those influences, these negative influences. It's not a nice place here, let's say. Let's put it like this. Although this world here, it was meant to be a beautiful place, the evil has gotten in. Everything that is against love is actually harmful to your soul condition, basically. It's something that contaminates your soul, so it brings more of this inner darkness to the soul and creates those encrustments around the soul. So this is what people in the church call sin. And how this comes is that when a soul, as we are, we select some type of attitudes. And those attitudes or actions that we do or carry out are not always done out of love. But maybe these are done out of anger. And if these are carried out in this way, let's say some harm done to somebody, let's say you call someone like with a very bad terms, this actually causes evil be made manifest into the souls, to the one who is doing the hurting. It's also causing these negativities to that person. So here we can see a soul condition that has been covered with a lot of darkness, and basically what this is, it's like a soul defilement. Sinful condition is basically a soul in a defilement, filled to some degree with unloving negative attitudes like unforgiveness, anger, selfishness, meaning that not giving out love to others, or to even to yourself, really. And this is also, let's say, if people do violent things. So this is always bringing some results to the soul condition. This is what is causing the darkening of the soul. So yeah, and if people continue doing bad things, poor choices, unloving choices, the soul gets more and more darkened. So this is of course not good, because it's an issue basically. It causes you unhappiness, it causes you unease, your peace will go away. It brings you negative situations in life, because negative energy draws more of the negative energy. If you ever want to have future happiness or enjoy happiness as much as possible, then it's most important to get rid of this condition. Of course, you can stay on. Nobody says that, okay, you need to change. I'm not here to say to you that you need to get rid of all of this darkness. But what I am saying is that if you want happiness in life, meaning that true joy and peace in your soul, and having freedom, true freedom in your soul, then this is the way to go, to get rid of all of this darkness that is actually not very good for you. So this is what I'm saying. And as I noticed that this sin and this darkness, to some degree, was also a problem in my life, I wanted to make everything to get rid of this stuff, because I didn't want it. I saw that it is causing only bad things for me, so I needed a solution. I didn't want to carry on in a darkened state in any way. And now we get to the most important part, the divine love and a soul transformation. So, when I was in this prayer mode back in 2005, when first time encountering the love of God, and when I got this crying effect and the laughing effect, actually all of those things were caused by the inflowing of the divine nature of God, the divine love of God into my soul. So yes, this divine love basically came down and infilled my soul to a certain extent, to some degree. And this started these processes and changes in my soul condition, from a darkened state into a state of light. And of course, this divine love is actually something tangible, it's something real, and it comes from without. And as I already said, it's something that God is made of, so to speak. It's His divine nature, it's substance. So this substance can come in and change our soul's condition. And it helps to recover our original purity. And in addition to that, it actually changes us from inside out to a completely new being. Meaning that if we partake of this divine nature, this divine substance of God's divine love, this basically gives us something new, changes our soul completely and totally. So this is something that is very good, meaning that it's actually enjoyable. This is something that you don't have to be afraid of in any way, because I can speak for my own experience of 15 years that every time I have experienced this inflowing of God's love, it has always been enjoyable, good, it makes you feel good. It's just so soul-fulfilling and so amazingly good that you just don't want to miss that. Let's put it like this. And when this love comes in, it will stay there. It will never leave you. It will never go out. This is the divine substance that you partake of, and it starts the workings in your soul, bringing your soul to a different condition. And if sometimes people get a very great, very large amount of this love, they really get a powerful experience. This basically ignites your soul in a very new way and makes you basically into a new being, if I may put it like this. Because if you acquire more of this love, this keeps on changing you, and the more you get, the more this love accumulates in you, the more powerful, the more beautiful, the more pure, the more loving you become. And this love actually expresses itself in many ways, in your movement, how you move, how you interact with people, how you feel inside, and you can even feel this unconditional love, this divine love for others. That's how I also know it is real, because I can sense and I can feel this love, and I can love other people with this unconditional divine love. And here we can see an image, representation of how this divine love works in the soul and brings you this light. Basically, your soul gets more and more lighted up by this divine love, because it changes your soul substance into this essence of love and light. And all of the darkness goes away in this process, and you will be set free. So basically, I could say that divine love is the means to save you from a distorted, unhealthy, hardened, darkened state, which only causes unhappiness to you and uneasiness, which you don't want actually. This darkness otherwise steals your peace, steals your freedom, your joy, and your true self. When this love comes in, it just changes you and gives you perceptions that you never had before about yourself, who and what you are capable of, what your potentials are, and so forth. Basically, this divine love changes you into a free, happy, light-filled, more advanced, more mature divine soul, with a magnificent and fulfilling destiny, meaning that you will end up in a beautiful place or in beautiful places in a spiritual world, because you will fit in. Because of your soul condition determines the place where you will go. So, if people ask me what God has done for me, well, I can say that He has given me a new heart, a new soul, by transforming it with His divine love, inflowing into my heart, into my soul. And here we don't speak about a physical heart, but a spiritual heart, which is the center of you, the real you, the soul, the living being. You can also have this. It's for everybody. But you may wonder, how does this work? How is this even possible? As I was saying, it's a substance. And I bet, or at least I guess, you have drank coffee before in your life. So you know what coffee tastes like and what the effect of the coffee is. Because coffee contains this thing which is called caffeine. And the caffeine is actually just a component in a coffee. You drink the coffee and you get those effects. The caffeine gives you energy boost, at least hopefully, and you will know what the effect is. It's not that you have to imagine the coffee effect. It's let's say you drink coffee and then you start imagining, okay, now I'm going to believe, I'm going to have faith that this coffee is going to give me an energy boost. Now I'm going to get thrilled. I'm going to get more excited. Yes, all right. It's working. And I believe it's working. It's gotta work. Come on, coffee, do your thing. It's not like that, right? It's more of you drink it in. Maybe after a few minutes you will feel different because you feel more energized. You feel more like jumping around or doing some stuff or dancing or whatever. The point is that the coffee works out its own effects because of the components it contains. Yeah, makes sense, right? So that's how things happen. You don't need to create or imagine the coffee effect or in some way create it yourself. You just need to input the coffee and you get the effect, right? The same thing goes for God's love, because the divine love is actually a real substance that brings about its own effects upon your soul. And through this, of course, on your life. Of course, you can lose the coffee from your organism, but you cannot lose the divine love from your soul. And of course, when we compare it to coffee, Divine Love is 100% safe for your health, for your spiritual health, and even for your physical health, actually, to some degree, because it influences you into a better mood, into a more healthier body, more harmony in your body, and so forth. But of course, coffee is not completely safe, but it tastes good and gives a nice effect. So yeah, I like coffee, I must admit. So 110% money back guarantee. Okay, that's a joke. Basically, you don't need any money back guarantees with Divine Love because Divine Love is unstealable. No one can take it from you. So there is nothing that you can really lose by getting Divine Love into your soul. So yeah, nothing to return. And of course, you cannot even return it because it's unreturnable. It's a gift. And if you have acquired it, well, you cannot give it back because it stays with you and no one can take it away from you. So basically this soul transformation is also called being or becoming born again. Not meaning reincarnation, but meaning the soul transformation. So actually the first one to speak and teach about this subject was Yeshua from Nazareth. And he's still teaching today this soul transformation process. So when you become a possessor of this love, you will actually have the heavens open for you in the sense that you may go higher up in the spiritual realms later on where you couldn't get in without this divine love. So this is where at least I am going and everyone is welcome to join. And so at least I know where I'm going and I'm glad to take as many people with me who are willing to come. So that's all free will based. And if anyone wants, you're welcome. Let's go together to the supreme happiness and the great life that is actually awaiting all of us. So my logic regarding the future and the afterlife, meaning the life after death, after having found out that the hells and heavens actually exist as places in the spiritual world, and that in hell there is no love, there is no compassion, there is no good things, let's put it like that. No real friendships, and there's more loneliness, suffering, unhappiness, misery, darkness, negativity, negative people, and so forth. So basically life without real love and light and happiness. So this was not an option for me, so I didn't want to go there. I also didn't want to have like a normal life, meaning like just a regular life, like earthly, not thinking about much spiritual progress. So this was not okay for me, so I didn't choose that. Now, good life. Of course, what I mean by good life is that this is something that is above, like, so to speak, average life, where you have all of your material needs met. You have quite a good amount of happiness in your life. You're pretty much overall pleased with your life and how things are going, but maybe something is still missing, let's say some real fulfillment. Let's put it like this. And this was also not like a real option for me, because I know that I would get dissatisfied with that. Let's put it like that. So, and there is a happy life option. And happy life sounds very good. So I would settle for happy life because it sounds good. Happiness is something that is connected to all the good things in life. Things going well, I feel good, I have joy, I have peace, I have family, I have a wonderful woman with me, and relationships are just great, and so forth. And in addition, I look good and whatnot, so I have a beautiful home, everything going with a happy life. So that is actually an option, and that is what I believe most people want. But I don't know if everybody is going to take steps toward this happy life, or they believe that this is actually achievable for them. But anyways, after learning about the divine love and the supreme happiness that it gives, and the option of going into the higher celestial divine realms through getting this love and having the access to these realms, and having learned that people are already living there, and they have actually even written messages from those realms to the people in this world. And when I have the selection of going for a happy life or the happiness or supreme happiness, well, yeah, definitely. I'm going with the supreme happiness because I really want to find out and experience what this really and truly means. Because I want to discover what is out there in life, what life has to offer me. I mean, and by life, I mean the one who has set up the human life, who has set up those spiritual realms for us to live in and so forth, even including this earthly world and everything. So I want to find out what is out there, and I want to get to the very best possible. From a person whom I consider a friend, he said this: "Why take minimum from life if you can take maximum from it? Both are on the table." So the point is that if you have a selection of two things which are both like achievable, both are on the table, and you can go either for one or the other, then of course if you have a selection of misery or good life or happiness or happy life being the one thing, and the supreme happiness through divine love being the second option, then why should I settle for less than supreme happiness if that's obtainable? So yeah, that's how I made my choice. That's how my logic works. And so my question to you is, which one of those options would you rather have? But of course, the choice is yours. No one is going to do this decision for you, not even God. So basically, we have two choices: continue as a natural soul or become a divine soul. So this means that we have a potential to become more than we were originally created to be. We right now have the potential or potentiality of receiving this substance of God's love into our souls to become transformed thereby. So you may wonder, okay, I would like to get this love, but how does this benefit me in this earthly life? So here is a list that I put together that I have experienced in my life. I have had some real soul awakening and soul development because this divine love develops you. And of course it has helped me to get rid of much of this darkness and sin and suffering that I have had previously. Do I have any negative feelings at times? Yeah, I do, of course. That makes sense. But as I can see, I have made much progress, at least as I can see myself and checking from the diary that I have been keeping of my own progress. So I can see and I can even know in my soul, which I already know, actually many years already, that I belong into a heavenly, beautiful place, that I'm not going to hell, that I can be sure of that already here in this earthly life. I can be certain that things will work out for the best. So yeah, I'm not concerned anymore with hell. So that's a good feeling to have and good knowledge to have. So definitely giving more security in life. And of course, I'm not afraid of death as well. That is also a very good thing to have. And the list goes on. So yeah, there are so many advantages to this. And of course, this also, in addition to everything else, it also gives soul immortality. Meaning that this same divine love that gives God immortality will give you and I the immortality of the soul. Then we don't need to hope for or imagine that we maybe never die as souls or as spiritual beings, but we can have the certain knowledge of our true immortality, because this divine love will always stay in us and keep giving us this quality of immortality and the knowledge of this. But right now I can say at this point I don't have the knowledge of immortality yet, but I am striving for it because I want to have it. If I can put it like this, why I am on this divine love path. So first it was because of the hells and of being afraid of ending up in there. But this has been resolved, of course, for a long time. And I wanted to prepare myself for a happy life in the spirit world, and of course a better and more happy life in this earth world. So it's interesting, life is interesting, and of course I want to keep investing in myself because it pays off in the future. And right now I want to just educate others about this divine love path, because I believe that everyone has the right to know of this and everyone deserves to have a choice on it. So what I can say is this divine love and getting more of it is a process. This soul transformation is a process. It's not like you get a portion of it and then you're a different person, you're a complete angel or something like that. No, it doesn't work like that. At least it doesn't work for me or anyone I know of. And you need to know that your progress in life in general and your soul development depends on your activity, your input, your work. Because if you don't do anything, well, nothing happens. Makes sense. And of course, the divine love does not do everything for you, meaning that regarding your mindset and your attitudes, these are things that you are in control of. This is what you need to choose. You have the free will, you can choose. You will not be turned into any kind of robot or something like that because of this love. Actually, the opposite is actually true. You will become more free, actually. So, regarding your mindset and changing your beliefs, changing your mind, this is what you need to do. Here are some questions that may rise up, which actually were my own personal concerns back in the day when I started out on the faith journey overall. And I was concerned, like, will I end up like a faith fanatic or going from door to door speaking about Jesus and hell and whatnot? Or do I have to go to church the rest of my life? And regarding the 10 commandments, do I have to live by 10 commandments, like 1,000 prohibitions and whatnot, do's and don'ts, and or else punishments and stuff? I had this concern, do I have to go to Africa as a missionary? Because I didn't want to do that. And it turned out that I didn't have to go, of course, because this was just a fear. Do I have to change my belief system? Will I lose precious people in my life and so forth? So these were actual real questions in my mind. And I'm not concerned of those anymore. You don't have to do what you don't want to do. Meaning that if you don't want to go knock on people's doors, you don't have to. No one forces you. If you don't want to go to the Africa as a missionary, no one forces you. If you don't want to go to church meetings, you don't have to. But if you want to check it out, what happens, what goes on there, you're welcome. Go. Discover. It's all like based on free will and love and respect. And of course, there are people who are wondering, like, okay, maybe my soul condition is so bad and God doesn't want to deal with me at all, and it's too late for me to be forgiven, and I'm going to end up in hell, and I don't care, or God is just an imaginary something created by religions to control the world, and I don't believe in God, and so forth. So I get that. I understand. We all have different information. And that's why we make different choices in life, right? Because we have been brought up in different situations, in different families, in different conditions. Maybe some of us in this world, we don't even have families. Some people growing up completely without a father and a mother. And the term Heavenly Father doesn't really mean much. Or a term father may actually be something that is not very pleasant. So I understand. We come from different backgrounds, different places. We have different information. But what I can assure you is that this love is real, it's true. And this divine love is something tangible, something that you can really experience. And it is meant for you and for all of us, and everybody is welcome to partake of this. And you can test this out. You don't have to take my word for it. So even though if you don't believe there is a God or that you are loved or these things are possible for you, you can still test it out. Meaning that you can make an experiment. Meaning that, let's say there is a God. And let's say you ask him to fill you with his love. What's there to lose? There's only to gain. If you're someone who wants to make your life better, at least in any way, well, the least thing that you can do is try. But if you want to start on this path, the main thing to focus on is actually not just the talk or listening to my words here or something like this, or reading or listening to other people. The point is to actually go for this love and to actually ask for it and get it and experience it. That is what changes your life. Nothing else. You need to have your own experience. It's just like you drink coffee. You will get the experience. It's not like other people drink coffee and they try to explain it to you and then you will try to understand it with your mind. Okay, it tastes like this and sweet and maybe gives you an energy boost. Okay, I cannot imagine what this really is, but I'm trying to imagine, and it doesn't work like that. You just need to go and drink that coffee. Then you will understand and realize what this really means and what the people are talking about. Same story with divine love. You can get it and you can experience it. And that's the only and the most efficient way to prove it for yourself. So, my question, would you like to get this love if there is nothing stopping you and there is no one who can gainsay and that you don't have anything to lose? Well, if your answer is no, then you can stop the video. But if your answer is yes, then why wait? Then let's go get it. I will show you how. It's actually very simple. So, here's how. First, as I said, you at least need to believe that this love is a real thing and that you can have it, you can get it, and that it's coming from without. And it only comes when you ask for it. That's how it works. It's based on free will. It's a gift. It's not something that is forced on you, but it is something that by sincere asking you may get. So basically, just believe that this love is in your reach and the Heavenly Father, the Creator, is hearing you when you're asking for it from your soul with sincerity. And then just relax. Maybe be alone somewhere. Or if you want to pray together with other people, you can do it as well. Relax, concentrate on your center, your soul area, and then just ask directly from Him. Ask that He may open up your soul to the inflowing of His love and that He may infill you with His divine love. And then just receive and enjoy. And then you do it again, and then you do it again, and then you do it again. So basically, it's an unending process. But every time you want it, you just ask for it. The portions only come when you ask. So the true prayer, the true asking for it, is based on your soul longings, not based on words. Meaning that it's not only a mindful prayer, but it's a soulful prayer. It's something that you go with your intentions, with your sincerity, with your longings from your heart and soul. And then you send it out to Him, and then He answers. So when you concentrate on having true soul longings for this love, you will get it. And the more intense your longing and the more sincere the longing and praying for this is, the more certainly and more intensely you will get it. And here is an example for a prayer provided by Yeshua, Jesus. And of course you may want to take a screenshot of that and you can pray whenever is convenient for you. And here is that one that I put together. And of course you can do this prayer by yourself. You don't need me here basically. But if you want to, and you're right now in a good place to start, you want to try it out, you want to pray right now, then I suggest that let's do this together right now. Just say after me those words from your heart and send them out to the loving Father. But of course you can use the option from Jesus, which is also very wonderful. So you can go like, Our Father who art in heaven, we recognize that you are all holy and loving and merciful, and that we are the children of your care, and not the subservient, sinful and depraved creatures that our false teachers would have us believe. That we are the greatest of your creations, and the most wonderful of all of your handiworks, and that we are the objects of your great soul's love and tenderest care. We recognize that your will is that we become at one with you, and partake of your great love, which you have bestowed upon us through your mercy, and desire that we become, in truth, your children. So this is how you do it. And if you did it right now and you want to keep on going, then how to know that you are really receiving the love? How can you measure that this actually works? So here are some effects that you may realize. You can sense a deep peace, and you can sense a warmth in the chest area, or some kind of like an expansion in your soul, in like a pressuring outward, or like some sensation of being energized or burning in your soul. You can also have deep joy or different feelings basically, but all of those feelings are good and bring more freedom. You may sense that you are cared for, that you get a sense of security and sense of being loved. And you are also may be able to sense a unconditional love. And there are many other things that you can see here that may happen to you. And if you want to keep on progressing, all you need to do is keep up the prayer. Basically, just turn to the Heavenly Father whenever you want to and ask for this love to come. You can just do it very easily just by saying that, Heavenly Father, here I am to ask for your love. I ask you for the gift of your love into my soul right now. Please open up my soul. Fill me with more of your divine love right now. Please fill me up. Fill me more. Fill me more. I wish to have more right now. And so you can just keep on going like this until you sense that something is happening. If you don't feel much anything, just keep going. So the main point is just do it until you actually experience it. So, and as I do it when I go for walks, when I drive my car, when I'm at home, sometimes at the office, or when I'm out in the nature. So wherever you like, basically, you can pray. God hears you everywhere. So it doesn't matter what the location is. It's not a duty, it's an opportunity. And your progress depends on your prayers, your action. And the next steps, if you sense this love, if you get this love, the next thing you do is you activate your love. You start to express it. And you, of course, enjoy it. And what I mean is that you will start living this life. This becomes a part of your life now, part of who you are. And you will start to express you, the new you. You are not losing your individuality. You are not losing your interests for, let's say, music, relationships. No, these become even more better. So that's why I said enjoy. Interactions with people become more pleasant and so forth. At least with people who are like-minded, I would say, let's say. People who also want to spiritually progress and especially those who want to have the soul development through God's divine love. So yeah, welcome. Just express this divine love that you get and live it out. And the possibilities for next steps are, let's say you got something out of this video, you have some questions, or you did this prayer and you experienced something, or you didn't experience, or whatever, then you are welcome to reach out to me. Just email me via DivineLoveArtto@pm.me. If you want to continue the conversations, we will find other ways, of course. And of course, I encourage you to carry on yourself, meaning that you go on communicating with the Heavenly Father yourself, asking for more of His love. And right now, I invite you also to partake of our Divine Love community, our Divine Love movement, where there are many people all around the world who are here for the same cause. And so you may actually find new friends, and you may be able to discuss divine love, spiritual matters, about life after death, and about God and truth and whatnot, basically. And get many answers to your questions. And of course, you're very welcome to contribute your love. That's what you can do. But, as I said, it's all optional. Whatever you like. P.S. If this information in this video or the experience with this divine love has benefited you, then I ask you to share this information forward to others. You can share the video, you can share your experiences to other people, because there are people out there searching for this information right now, and there are people who are needing to know about this. In any way, your contribution to this cause is appreciated and is valuable, and it may change lives. So, thank you. And also thank you for watching the whole video and taking the time. And I know it's been a long video. But anyway, I wish you a happy day and stay blessed.